Hi, Audrey.
Hey, Crystal Dawn. Good morning.
Good rising.
Yes, on this, well, at least where I am, it's a sunny and windy day.
Yeah, same. And we're going to talk about all the different ways that we can face endings or look at endings like little deaths. So, like, morning is kind of like the end of sleep.
Mhm. Yeah, I think, I was thinking about a friend of mine who recently had a baby. And after the baby was born, she was just, of course, there's lots of hormones, but she was having all of these feelings, including that feeling of grief. And when we were, communicating about it, being aware that having the baby was the end of her being pregnant. And it was the end of the experience of just being like the one that's directly connected to the baby. And that, even when an ending is something that you know is going to happen, that it's also like an opening into something you want, or even an ending of something that you are ready to have end, that you want to end, like a bad relationship or contract that didn't go, like a work contract that didn't go so well, that at the ending of things, there's always going to be some stuff. There's always going to be an opportunity to face into and feel all of the feelings that come with endings and with letting go.
And that letting go, it's that there's space for all the feelings, the joy of greeting a new baby, and the sort of loss of being the sole provider of the of life force for this
Yeah,
infant.
yeah.
And waking up, like sometimes I wake up really cranky, and I hadn't ever really put it together that it's the ending of the sleep, it's the death of my sleep cycle, and I can be cranky about that if I want to. I can wake up and be like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, and it's all included. I was also, talking to someone the other day, and they were thinking that like at the ending of something, the death of something, that they had to sort of like also let go of caring. Like this particular person was ending a relationship, and I was saying the care, the sense of love, the sense of love that is larger than our kind of personal love, that continues. Like, so I can both care deeply and continue to care deeply and let go and feel the feelings of the letting go, like it's over, and letting it go, and still the caring can continue.
Yeah, and wanting
So
for their well-being, or like caring about them, and
versus like it's the death, it should just be over, I shouldn't have any feelings about it, I want, and just, recognizing, I think partially in our conversations, of all of the little micro endings, even the end of a breath, end of a day, end of a meal, how do I participate and bring my sense of presence, my sense of awareness all the way through, to the ending. And then in that little space in between, that includes, whatever it includes.
yeah, that gap, or the liminal space of like, I'm awake but I'm asleep.
Mhm.
And I don't quite know how to feel about the day yet, because I've had this goal of like, I want to wake up and greet the day with such gratitude, and like, my whole life I've wanted that, and then most mornings I wake up and I'm like, wah. Yeah, I love the idea of that being okay. Like, why do I need to change that? There's nothing wrong with me having my feelings, even if they're grindy, crunchy, blecky.
Yeah. Well, and the presencing of grief, like grieving the end of your sleep time, you know,
Mm,
maybe it's the time that you're, particularly connected with your beloved, and, grieving the end of that period. And you're also entering the uncertainty. So you're also leaving something that's current and present and known, and like grieving the ending of that to go off into a day that is uncertain.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen today? I might meet with you, Audrey, and talk about these liminal spaces, these gaps where most of us, I in the past have really skipped over a lot of those like stop points, a period, a full stop. And I'm loving bringing awareness to the mini full stops, the mini moments of an ending.
Well, and I think that's also for me, when I bring attention to the little mini ones that maybe don't look like they have quite as large a consequence, and I practice bringing my sense of awareness, my breath, that my whatever feelings are present, to those mini ones. When the larger ones happen that do encompass, a greater sense of energy, then I've been warming up, and practicing the, what's present, what happens in the middle, in the presence of those endings. And it perhaps softens the edges of something larger, or at least gives me a little bit greater sense of confidence that I can move through something, because I have seen myself move through, all sorts of little, maybe micro to mini to moderate, different sizes of endings, and like participate, like, how do I want to participate with this one? And practicing also choosing,
and choosing to practice, and the practice of noticing little deaths, increasing my personal death awareness, so that something could become no big deal when maybe in the past it was like a huge upset or something.
Yeah, so I'm just inviting people to look at all of the endings, like all of the little deaths. I was even thinking, like, I just got back from a couple of different trips, and one trip ended, and then the next one, like right on the heels of that. And then I came home, and that was another feeling experience. But each of those had its own wrap up, and each of those had its own like little death, and then, and new life, and to be giving attention to all of those little ones, and practicing bringing presence and a sense of, appreciation, meaning my sensitive awareness to that, as a way of, honoring each of those experiences.
And allowing for the complete arc. I just left Tahoe and came back to Los Altos. And so the sadness I felt about leaving the lake, but also the excitement of what's next. So allowing myself that full arc, that ride of like, I'm gonna leave here now. And practicing being with that all the way through to the completion. Being with my feelings about it all the way through to the openness, to the spaciousness that follows. I love meeting here with you. Thank you so much for allowing this sparking of our creativity and curiosity around our personal death awareness to be in the open space.
Yeah, me too. And all the ways that influences life.
Yeah. So if any of you are curious about these conversations, like how these little moments could be little deaths where we practice creating completions consciously, reach out to us, comment, give us some more sparking of conversation, because we love talking about this stuff.